Hey, we're Zane's Father Chris here. Welcome to Wednesday's episode of our Crucifixional live stream. I am thrilled to have you beautiful people in with us as we begin and continue the beginning of the new year, 2022. We are going to make this year the best of our lives ever. We're going to leave behind kind of the chaotic last couple of years and all the stuff that's going on, and we're going to become mature men and women, wise men and women. But one of the things to do that is that we must live a new kind of life. You know, not to be too cliche, but I'm going to quote Albert Einstein. I'm sure many of you know this saying, and it may not even have been actually uttered by him, but he gets credit for it. And it's like, if it's insanity, what is insanity? It's doing the same things over and over and expecting a different result, right? Like, in some sense, if you do what you've always done, you're going to get what you've always got, right? Somebody else said that. I don't remember. I like that one too. But the idea is what? You got to make some changes. You got to do things new. Things have to be different, or it will just continue to happen as it always happens. Perfect example. On my phone, we all have, games, those mind relaxing, time wasting games, and mine is this version of solitaire, and it's called Baker's Game. It's a solitaire game. And every so often, I'll get stuck, and all the cards will line up, and I'm locked out, and I can't move anymore. So I hit restart. You restart the game, and you try it again. And I noticed a bunch of times that very often, because the pattern seems so clear to me, that I default and I get stuck on the same exact spot. And sometimes, dumb people, it takes like 3 and 4 times before you stop and say, why don't you do something different? Every time you move this ace there and the jack here and the queen there, you're going to get in the same spot. Do something different. And sure enough, it's usually on the first, sometimes maybe all the way to the second try of something new, that the cards release and you win the game of solitaire. Like, it's the same in life. If you do the same things over and over, you're going to get the same stuff. We're looking for new. And that, beloved, enters Romans chapter 6, verse 4 from St. Paul. He's talking about baptism, and that you and I, as we are baptized into Christ, we are baptized into his death, right? Not his death and resurrection. He was raised. You and I are still alive. We haven't actually died yet, so we'll be raised, hopefully, later in life, 100 years from now, God willing. But we're baptized into his death. Now, the good news is that Christ's death led to an empty tomb. And he's promised that if you enter into that death, i.e. the cross, that when death does come for you, your tomb might also be empty, right? That's the message. That's the gospel. And so we are baptized, immersed into a crucifixional life, that as Christ used the cross to conquer the biggest, baddest monster, death, that you and I should use the very same weapon to conquer the monsters that you and I are facing in 2022. We are baptized, immersed into the death of Christ. And that means that the old is gone, right? That's what it means. The old is gone. And that we now, and hear the rest of the verse, chapter 6, verse 4 of Romans, as you were baptized into Christ, you were baptized into his death, so that as Christ was raised from the dead by the glory of the Father, you too might walk in the newness of life. So, like, as you think about that, if I'm going to look for this new life, and I'm going to start to make 22 the best year ever, so that I can become the best man that I can become and be whatever good I was yesterday, even better tomorrow, I have to put to death in me all the old stuff that I used to do that was a part of the chaos of 2021 and 2020, and maybe even towards the end 2019, like the last couple. We've had a rough little stretch, right? Like, as we leave that junk behind, put it to death, leave it behind. Be different. If you participate in the same things you participated in, you will get nothing different than you got last year and the year before, right? That's just it. I've noticed something fascinating. I have eliminated news and social media consumption from my life. Now, I'm talking to you on social media, and I'm begging you to subscribe to our stuff, and I'm begging you to get all of our stuff and to watch every day, so I get the inconsistency. But I'm just saying, for me, I have removed myself from the news. I don't read Fox, and I don't read CNN. I don't read any of the other, NBCs and CBS. I don't read any of that kind of stuff. I kind of don't have any idea what's going on in the world. Like, when the gas crisis happened, I'm like, I didn't have any idea. I have an electric car. I didn't know. But also, I'm different. My mind is renewed. You know what I've replaced all that stuff with? Scripture. And I'm a scripture guy, and I've read the Bible a bunch of times, cover to cover, in different order. I've read it a gazillion times, but I did it again. And I'm like, oh, I'm starting to see things. It's like as if to say, in this new mindset that I've got, I'm seeing clearly. I'm seeing better, clearer. right? Like the whole point of that is I am now, because I'm not filled with junk, it's new. And when I read, listen to this. Well, I'll tell you that another time. When I read it again, it's like it was powerful for me. And so I want that for you as well, to look to find this newness. If you want 22 to be any different than 21 or 20 or any of the other years of your life to really be great, you got to change, bro. Got to do things differently. Can't do it the same way. Don't fall into the same solitaire pattern so that your Baker games always get stuck. Try something different. What that difference is it could be something in the world. But if you always do what you always did, you're always going to get what you always got. I'm saying try something different. Check out warriorsaints.org. It's totally different. We're not like anybody else. We are not like self-help gurus who are going to like fix your life by doing a system if you plug into it. That's not it. It's Jesus Christ, man. God is the changer. He's the game changer. And his plan, his gospel, his good news, his if you will, the sword of the Spirit that he uses to slay monsters is the cross. That means it's hard. Sometimes it's ugly. Sometimes it hurts. But in that is good. In that is where you find yourself in 22 to be the best that you are. We're going to help you do that. We're doing it ourselves. And you know what? It actually works. We want you to join us. When you visit warriorsaints.org, you're going to see 3 steps. I'm interested in only one of them today, and that is for you to join us on the way of the warrior saint. It's our monthly subscription. It's $8, dude. Come on. Come on. Join us. And once you subscribe, you have full access to the entire database, right? And there's a gazillion teachings in there. They're really, I say they're great because they're not for me, they're from God himself. So I encourage you let that be different. Let that be the change you make in your life and see right away the positive impact it makes in your world. Love ya. We're going to be back tomorrow. Till then, as always, keep walking on the way of the warrior saint.